Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the main event. I'm Daniel, and already spaced it already? No, this whole weekend is WCW. Like seriously, next three are just WCW. So let's kick things off. We're starting off tonight with Fall Brawl 1993. So we're in. One will rise, one will fall. That was the tagline. I mean, it makes sense, I guess. Two teams enter, one will rise. Alright. Sure enough. So we're going back to September 19th, 1993. The Astros Arena in Houston, Texas. And I think we're in front of like 6,000 fans. And the main event is the War Games match. Team Vader versus Team Sting. So yeah, we'll just jump right into it, shall we? I love the War Games match. Like I don't know, I'm still a big believer they should bring this back. Like, and I know Vince won't because he didn't create it, so he's like, fuck it, I'll just piss all over it. But I would love to see War Games brought back. But I mean, in all honesty, maybe I'm glad it isn't because WWE tends to piss on everything anyways nowadays. So I don't know, maybe it's for the best. It's just kind of forgotten right now. But no, I mean, like I said, as far as WCW goes, this is one of my favorite events they did put on. So, and of course, this is the debut of the Shockmaster on pay-per-view. Which, yep, get the Shockmaster. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's just jump right into it. Sorry if I seem a little out of it. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long day, so this guy's a little tired. So yeah, let's jump head first. We got on one team, you got the Masters of Powerbomb, which is Vicious and Vader, and then you got Harlem Heat as well. And of course, at this point, they're known as Kane and Cole, not Stevie Ray and Booker T. I don't know when that name change happened, but apparently it's. I don't know. It's still early on. I did not know they were known by as Kane and Cole. I was watching it. I was like, who the fuck is Kane and Cole? So, there you go. That's done. Of course, they're all brought to the ring by Colonel Parker and Harley Race. And on the other side, we got Dustin Rhodes, Sting, Davey Boy Smith, and the Shockmaster. Now, without rehashing everything, we all know about the Shockmaster. My big question is okay, so I know once the big flub happened and he crashed through the wall and fell down, they decided to adopt the gimmick of he's a klutz. But like he was initially supposed to be a Star Wars, like, Space Invader, big guy, Stormtrooper helmet with a cloak on and shit, and like, he's a construction worker here, like, I don't know. I feel like I missed something there, but I don't watch any of the stuff, so I have no idea. But I do remember the Shockmaster debut. That's all I know is Shockmaster. So the fact that like he's a construction worker here, really just like what the fuck? So I expect to see him like come out like a Space Invader, a clumsy Space Invader, but a Space Invader nonetheless. But and then on top of that, we got Road Warrior Animal coming out in their corner. So yeah, bam. Here's the weird thing about this whole thing anyway. It's what's crazy is Davey Boy Smith and Dustin Rhodes, they do kind of feel like main eventers here. It's just odd because I have never seen them in that light. When Davey Boy Smith was in his first match, his first main event match against Vader, I was just like, no. I came around on the tag match, but it seems like right now I'm just like, yeah, he does feel like a main eventer. Like, it doesn't last. Like, I think he's on his way out, at least in the main event picture. I could be wrong, but I don't think he, hangs around much longer beyond this. And then Dustin Rhodes, same way. Like, he was kind of thrust in there early on. Like, they had these tag matches, him and Barry Windham. But that was at a time when like they were like having random mid-card tag matches, main event pay-per-views, which is just like, what the fuck ever. But like, this is his second second War Games. So I'm just kind of like, all right, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. He does feel like he's come a long way. And he is kind of a top dog here. Although just a couple short years after this, he'll be Goldust. So Which, as much as, Goldust was popular, he never did reach main event status. He was always IC at best. So, anyway, so this is kind of odd right there. But of course, you got Shockmaster, which I guess they had big things in store for him, maybe. I don't know. I can only assume just by the performance he gives here that he was going to be at some point something to reckon with, but his entrance kind of ruined that for him altogether. So, yeah, let's jump into it. So we start things off. You get Vader on the heel side. And, of course, the funny thing about this whole thing is like, usually when you got a big guy in these War Games matches, they come in at the end because they don't want to show how weak they are, how much they can't last, so they throw them out on the top, throw them at the end of it so they don't have to be in as long. But here, like, the big guy just goes in first, which, shows how great Vader was in that ring. Shows the endurance and stamina that he had. Now, on the other side, it's funny because, okay, they're doing the same bit they did 2 years ago. 2 years ago, Flying Brian was all injured up. Brian Pillman was all beat up and everything. And they're like, you're not going in first. We'll have this guy go in, and then Flying Brian just breaks away and runs in like an idiot, right? It cost everybody the match, little jackass. So, here, Dustin Rhodes is all bandaged up and taped up. Like, he's just all fucked up right here. So, same thing. And the Shockmaster's like, I'm going in first. And they're all like, yeah, Shockmaster's going in first. And then Dustin Rhodes runs in. Which I was like, okay, it's kind of weak that they're doing the same fucking bit they did 2 years ago, but alright, I'll roll with it. Let's see. But then when it comes time for them to put their second guy in, the Shockmaster don't even go in. The Shockmaster, who's all like, I'm going in first. Which makes sense from a kayfabe standpoint, like he's going to go fight Vader first. But then they get, the heels get the first draw, or, they get the third entry or whatever. They win the coin toss. So then Stevie Ray comes in, or Can, or whatever the hell his other name was, comes in. But I'm like, then why didn't Shockmaster go in after that? Now, I know in real life why he didn't, because he didn't want to get blown up, and he, you knew, let's leave him until the end. But kayfabe, he was ready to go. He was ready to go in first. I'm going in first. And then Rhodes runs in, and then he's just like, well, if I can't go in first, I'll go in last. I guess that was the logic there. I don't know, but I thought this was very funny, because whenever number 2 rolls around, it's Dave Boy Smith. I was like, Shockmaster, where'd you go, buddy? Where'd you go? Vicious rolls in after that, and then Sting, and then Booker T on the other side. I think he was Cole. I think Steve Ray was Kane, and he was Cole. Like it matters. But Booker T comes in after that, and then the last person is Shockmaster. And the funny thing is, like, Ventura are ripping into him, like, wow, I'm surprised he didn't stumble in the ring. And I feel like, and once again, maybe they thought they had hope, like they could maybe salvage this big blunder that was the whole Shockmaster angle. Because he goes in and just cleans house and dominates. Just straight up fucking dominates. And you're thinking, like, if you're going to go by your character, because clearly I guess it wasn't established yet that he's just going to be klutzy or whatever, but, like, I figure, like, if he's going to go in, he should win it and, like, stumbled in and then, like, tripped over himself. Shit like that. But it's almost like he refused to do that. He's like, no, I can show you. I can make this character work. And he couldn't. But he goes in and dominates. He's a house of fucking fire. There's one moment where I thought was funny. I think it was, I must have assumed it was Vicious and Vader, but they had somebody, we'll say Sting, and they're just bench pressing him into the cage roof. And it looks effective, Once again, I'm sure it does cut you up a little bit and whatnot, but he's just doing that, like they're doing that to him. But then they turn around and do it to, I think, Vicious. It's Bulldog and Sting doing the Vicious, but they can't quite get that momentum. So this looks like they're barely tapping him into it, but, Shivani's like, well, he's trying to cut him, and you're like, no, he's not cutting shit. Like, he's barely touching that right there, and it looks weak as shit. One funny thing is, Dustin Rhodes wrestles the entire match without a boot. Like, early on, he takes his boot off, he uses as a weapon, which it gets taken away from him, and everybody uses the fucking boot, but you look up and you'll see Dustin Rhodes, who gets busted open early on, walk around with, like, one shoe and one sock, and that's it. And you're just like, really? But that boot, everybody uses the boot. One year, they actually take a turnbuckle fucking off. Not just a pad, turnbuckle off. And use it as a weapon. This year, they use Dustin Rhodes' boot. So, yeah, that happened. So, anyways, they're all fighting, and then, of course, Tugboat, Typhoon, Shockmaster picks up Booker T in a bear hug. And it's funny because you don't really see Booker T submit. Like, there's no audible, yeah, I quit, or nothing like that, or, once again, this is before tap out, so. But anyways, the referee's like, they ring the bell, and that's it. Shockmaster and his team win, they go celebrate, and the rest of them are like, this ain't over, and blah, blah, blah. And of course, Booker T's like, I did not quit. And, like, the commentator's like, yes, you did. It's like, I don't think you did. Like, I kept waiting for it. It didn't happen. But either way, Shockmaster dominated, and he made Booker T tap out, so via bear hug. So, yeah, they win the match, and that was that. One thing about this match, I enjoyed it. This felt like a really short War Games match, though. Like, of all the War Games matches we've done on this show so far, this one felt like it was just really short. If it was, I didn't compare times. I'm not really that interested in knowing, I guess. Like, if I really wanted to know, I'd go look up. I'm just saying it felt short, though. It definitely felt short. My big complaint with any War Games matches, I just hate that I hate, that it's one fall to the finish. Like, it's not even a pinfall, it's a submission. And in situations like this, it's why I don't like it. Because in any War Games match, they hype it up, they suck it off, and they're just like, this is where, the rivals go to finally finish it all. Like, you can't settle out there, you settle in War Games. I'm like, a feud's never been settled in War Games because you couldn't. Because it's always the weakest person in your team getting forced to tap out. Like, Vader didn't make Sting tap out. Sting didn't make Vader tap out. Bulldog didn't make him tap out. No, nobody in the main... No, it was literally Shockmaster making Booker T tap out. Booker T before he's Booker T. He's Cole. Some guy named Cole getting forced to submit by this klutzy dude who fell through a wall. And the Vader Sting feud's over, I guess. No, that's ridiculous. But so I really wish they would have implemented then, like and I get it. Like, I mean, but it is what happens every time. Like, it's always the weakest person gets taken out to protect everybody else. Bobby Eaton goes out, so none of the other good villains have to, lose. Brian Pillman goes out one year, so no one else has to, so it's always this, it's the last person in the group, it's always like, it's never the headliner, never the captain, and it continues to do that throughout, too. So, I mean, for me, again, even, once again, since I know it's fake, and I get that, I know why they did it. I'm just saying from a young Daniel's perspective, back when I found out what this was like. And I'm guessing that high school was literally when I first realized what Fall Brawl was. Because like I said, I didn't really watch it. It would have been junior high. I'm sorry. Like you guys care. Anyways, but when I found out that was it, like, it just took one submission and that was it. It's all over. I was like, what? Like, that didn't sell shit. Like, they're still fighting. There's still a war going on. It doesn't take one submission, but that's it. It should have been elimination. I feel like they should do the same thing. They should enter, wait till all 8 or 10, depending on which team or kind of team format they're using, and then once the match beyond begins, get rid of the fucking just submission only. You can have submissions, but just have pinfall and submission. But elimination rules until the last people are standing on one side. Whoever the sole survivors are, then boom, there it is. But sorry, I'm just trying to down some caffeine here. So yeah, no, that was that. Like I said, other than that, I mean, it's still a decent match. It's interesting to see Harlem Heat get their start here. I'm not sure when they actually started. This is the first time I've seen them, but once again, I don't watch full pay-per-views when it comes to the show. I just do the main events only. So yeah, interesting to see them get their big start. And once again, it's interesting to see Shockmaster. Once again, I just always assumed he was just going to have like a spacey gimmick because of that, even though... And I remember reading, like I said, they turned his character into a klutz character, like he was just constantly fucking shit up. But the fact that he goes from like space cadet to a construction worker, and the fact that you can just tell they're trying to make it work, like he was just like, no, I'm not klutzy, I'll show you. And he dominates, he doesn't fumble, he doesn't do shit. He goes in and just cleans house. But once again, I think the fact that he stumbled through that wall, it's like, that's too late for that shit. Too late for that shit. So, but either way, it is what it is. So, but he picks up the win. Shockmaster has the big main event victory under his belt right here. Can't take that away from him. Can't take that away from him. You can take his pride, but you can't take his victory. So that's all I got, guys. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of this match down below. I hope you thought it was short too. And then of course, tune in tomorrow night. We're still get a little spooky. We're doing Halloween Havoc 1993. So that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.